Greetings, friends. Reformed Stoic here. So, what I've just realized in this brand new update on OBS is that I cannot figure out how to resize my camera for a reaction screen. So, for this particular video, you're not going to get to see my beautiful face, but I'm here. You hear my voice. This is going to be a commentary video on a number of different aspects of the same topic. We got decline in men attending university. We're going to watch a video and an article, go over an article about that. Or actually, we're going to start with a video on why aren't men in university, then why are men leaving the workforce, on men leaving the workforce, and then men leaving dating, and then men leaving marriage. So basically just a big grand smorgasbord of men leaving all facets of society. I think you get the gist. I'm going to try to keep my commentary brief. We're basically just checking in with the state of men leaving society. All of my sources are within 3 months of age, some just 3 weeks, with the oldest source being this Pew Research Center review across U.S. religious groups. More see decline of marriage as negative than positive. That's from September 14th, 2023, so that one's about 4 months old. That is the oldest source we have. Let's go ahead and get started. Burb and Baugi decline in four-year college enrollment. Young men's non-participation driving the trend. Let's get started.
So here's an article that just came out from Pew Research. Fewer young men are in college, especially at four-year colleges. Now, what is this going
Okay, so that source is from December 18th, 2023. So just a couple of months old.
to do for society going forward? If people don't understand how these numbers right now impact a few years from now, they're not paying attention. Okay, let's get into the article and some of the numbers. College enrollment among young Americans has been declining gradually over the past decade. In 2022, the number of 18 to 24-year-olds enrolled in college was down approximately 1.2 million from its peak in 2011. So 1.2 million is what it's down. So if you look at this graph right here, the dark green is 2011 and the lighter green is 2022. So if you look at the 2 and 4 year combined, the percent drop is just 47% or 44%. So that's a smaller drop. If you look at the 2 year between 2011 and 2022, the 2 year has gone up slightly in 2022. But you can see here that the biggest drop comes from the four-year colleges. 47% of 18 to 24-year-olds were enrolled in 2011. 42% were enrolled in 2022. So the biggest drop comes from four-year colleges. Now let's talk about what this means. Most of the decline is due to fewer young men pursuing college. About 1 million fewer young men are in college, but only 0.2 million fewer young women have decided to not go to school. As a result, men make up 44% of college students today, down from 47% in 2011, according to newly released U.S. Census Bureau data. This shift is driven entirely by the falling share of men who are students at four-year colleges.
All right, so she's posting these clippings. I'm just going to go ahead and read these. This shift is driven entirely by the falling share of men who are students at four-year colleges. Today, men represent only 42% of students ages 18 to 24 at four-year schools. So that's well under 50%. Down from 47% in 2011. So all the way back to 2011, over half of the attendance was women. At two-year colleges, which are largely community colleges, the drop in enrollment has been similar for men and women, so the gender balance has not changed much. Men represent 49% of students ages 18 to 24, up slightly in 2011. So what we're seeing is that overall, for over a decade, university is primarily for women. That is interesting. Some food for thought there. So I'm not necessarily going to watch all of every video. We'll just kind of see what we get from every source here.
Percent of students age 18 to 24, slightly up from 48%. The decline in college age enrollment since 2011 is not driven by a drop in overall 18 to 24-year-olds high school graduates. That number has modestly increased. Instead, the number of high school graduates who are enrolling in college is causing the decline, and the drop has been greater among young men than women. Today, only 39% of young men who have completed high school are enrolled in college, down from 47% in 2011. The rate at which young female high school graduates enroll has also fallen, but not by nearly as much.
Okay, so speculations from me on why this is happening. The usual suspects: getting mogged, no luck with women, not making friends, not fitting in. I was in a great thread the other day on the good old fortunes about why aren't there as many geniuses? Why aren't we seeing as much innovation? Where are the Teslas? You know, where are the Isaac Newtons of the world? Where have all the geniuses gone? Well, first of all, a lot of the low-hanging fruit has been covered. A lot of things have just been done and discovered already. But I think it comes down to Ted Kaczynski's over-socialization theory that we're seeing a society that's hyper-social, which has resulted in far left radical liberalism dominating universities, just like Ted Kaczynski predicted. And success in general is more about fitting in than it is about being brilliant. Universities are no longer meant to attract that outlier of intelligence capable of creating great innovations in society. And then also what we see is the speculation that the peer review is really a way of kind of like gatekeeping brilliant discoveries. You know, you have to kneel to the peer review, which some people who claimed to be scientists can be quoted saying in that thread. So, take it with a grain of salt. But ultimately, the idea that university is less about attracting brilliant minds and outliers of intelligence and more about being a continuation of high school, a social outlet where people are trying to party, make friends, be the prom king and the prom queen. And we're seeing a decline in the attendance of men because they either don't fit in and they're losing the popularity contest, or perhaps, maybe some of these men would have been the driving force of intellectualism and innovation, and they're just finding that they're not appreciated in university. I gotta say, that's certainly how I felt. Let's just go to the comments. I think we get the gist of this article. The statistics are there. Ultimately, universities have been over half female attendance since 2011, maybe even before then, and now that number has dropped to 42% male attendance. Let's see the comments. Soon, male job leaders will start declaring how degrees aren't everything, or this job takes more than education. Just give it time. Edited. I know it is already happening on a small scale, but it has yet to become the norm across the board. So, yeah, they're going to have to start making leeway for men to attend school without a college education. Let's see the responses here. I feel like this is already happening. Lots of job descriptions are stressing years of experience. It'll be really interesting to see how this all pans out. A university degree is one of the only legal discriminatory factors employers can use, so I'm not sure it'll ever fully disappear. You see, in this battle of men versus the university education, people are starting to comprehend a world where maybe they choose men over a university education. That would be very interesting. Because I think everybody knows that society needs men to continue. And again, the point of this video is just every facet of men leaving society, sources from the last 2 or 3 months. I wonder if they will increase the minimum wage. Yeah, but, you know, conservatives are kind of correct that that doesn't really do much, except for create inflation. Oh, you know they will. As soon as men become the people most affected, the rules suddenly start to change. Oh, that sounds like kind of a... As soon as men are the most affected, but, you know, depending on who you ask, there's a sentiment from men that men have been the most affected for quite some time now. I forget which state, but they've already started charging almost $500 for a degree. People won't need a formal education, they'll buy it. Okay, just buy a degree. That sounds like some useless speculation. It's happening now. A bachelor's degree in a lot of fields is basically a high school diploma as far as wages are concerned. So, interesting things are shifting. What does it mean at this point to get a college degree? And you might be somebody who spent the time and the money to obtain a degree in a world where maybe society is going to have to shift their view of what it means. As far as like what's fair, somebody's probably going to lose out. Either somebody who got pushed out of education or somebody who went through the trouble of getting an education in a world where what it means to have an education has changed. I work at a university and I can attest the young women are doing better by far than the young men are. They are the best campus leaders and students and really do outperform the male students. And, you know, Melanie Lopez, that's a woman saying that. But why do you think that is? Like, is it just because women are better than men all of a sudden? I'm ecstatic for women and girls in the future. Yeah, they're going to be unmarried and they're going to be childless. Congratulations, girls! I'm not reading all of this. Go make sure men are fine, we are good, and consistently improving. Oh, okay. Oh, so maybe the video we're watching is, like, meant to start bashing men eventually. We didn't really make it that far. I thought maybe it was showing concern. The comment you wrote is actually against the reality for women. I am specifically pointing out the part in your comment where you erroneously assumed that women don't want to be by themselves at age 60. Studies already confirmed that the happiest and healthiest people are unmarried, childless women. Plenty of women online have been making video after video talking about how their lives are much better now after they divorced the father of their children. Oh, okay, I'm starting to see what kind of a comment section this is. Let me delete your ish now. Go speak to men. Oh, okay, let's delete your voice. So let the record show that men's voices have been removed from this discussion. I deleted that dude. I tire of them and their overinflated view of their opinions. Oh, here we go. Well, I mean, you've silenced any opposition to your discussion, so I don't know, maybe you're projecting a little bit there. Let's move on to this comment. Golden Lady. I think part of the reason women are staying the course in education or a job with advancements is that aside from being broke, we learned from either our matriarchs or the hard way that we've got two options, the stroll or the pull. Even as girls, some of us were taught that there is no reason that we should ever go hungry because we were sitting on our moneymaker. All right, well, I think, take it for what it's worth. I mean, this is my video, so nobody can ban me. I think that universities have become a toxic environment for the majority of men, and you're being brainwashed that, you know, everything is white men's fault, and history is being rewritten by angry, borderline communist revolutionaries, And women feel much more at home in that environment. And then, these 42% of men are more in line with normies and bug men. And ultimately, where have the Nikola Teslas gone? Where have the Albert Einsteins and, the Isaac Newtons? Where have they all gone? I think they're at home, and they've left society, and instead of cashing in on their potential, they're not being groomed by universities anymore. They're not seeing their potential. They've left society because they're not wanted in society anymore. This means even less men in the professions and higher paying positions. This means they won't be able to provide for a family, and more women will opt out instead of settling for less accomplished husbands. I need to revisit some of the articles about the men's failing and flailing. Okay, yeah, so she probably goes on in this video to brag about how women are doing better than men. Let's go ahead and move on. We've spent enough time in this video. Let's kind of get through this, guys, because we don't want to be here all day. We're just kind of making a point here. Understanding the decline. Why are men dropping out of the workforce? So this is from November 5th, 2023. Just 2 or 3 months old. Have you noticed a trend of more and more men stepping away from the workforce? A startling 7.2 million men have decided to step away from their jobs for various complex reasons. So keep in mind, a lot of men already weren't working. But recently, men who were working have now decided not to work. A shift in the workforce. Where are men going? The current labor market is experiencing a significant shift, with 7.2 million men disappearing from the workforce, creating substantial impacts for companies and reshaping our understanding of work dynamics. 7.2 million men have dropped out of the workforce. A staggering 7.2 million men have vanished from the U.S. workforce. These men, primarily without college degrees, are no longer working or even looking for jobs anymore. This massive reduction in male labor force participation has led to a substantial impact on the economy and interest rates due to earnings erosion. In this phenomenon, wages decrease over time when adjusted for inflation. While experts attribute this decline to myriad factors, including economic changes and rising numbers of not in labor force, it's clear that society must grapple with how these millions of vacant positions will be filled in the future. The shift also questions how such significant changes will shape gender roles and societal norms. Impact on companies and the workforce. Companies across various sectors struggle to fill job vacancies as millions of men leave the workforce. The departure in high numbers often sparks a scramble for replacements, making it challenging to maintain productivity levels or meet business goals. Industries such as manufacturing and construction, typically dominated by male labor, face significant operational setbacks. This mass exodus not only disrupts organizational structures, but also leads to shifts in the job market dynamics. Males aged 30 to 44 dropping out of the labor force makes companies rethink hiring strategies and broaden scopes beyond traditional demographics. All right, let's just kind of skim through this. Reasons for the decline in male workforce participation. Let's see what we got here, medium.com. Various factors have led to the decline. Illness. Illness bears a significant responsibility for the decline. Many of these individuals cite health problems as their primary reason. A shocking 39.5% of prime age men not working revealed that either disability or sickness kept them from maintaining employment. Is that what it is, guys? Are we all just struck ill? Are all the men just suddenly struck ill? Or is it mental illness? Drug addiction, illness, perceived lack of opportunities. So they're suggesting a lot of it is that they're on drugs and they're ill, which likely contains within it mental illness because they have disability, illness, drug addiction. How about perceived lack of opportunities? Let's skim through that. Men are leaving the labor force, and a perceived lack of opportunities is one part of the problem. This perception often stems from comparisons to better educated men with more career options. So they're delusional about what they deserve because they're comparing themselves to better educated men. But as we've just seen, only 42% of four-year colleges are men at this point. As prime age men without college degrees witness their counterparts climb corporate ladders and seize jobs requiring specialized knowledge, feelings of despair may arise, driving them away from seeking employment. So it's just, woe is me, woe is me. But somehow a lot of uneducated boomers managed to buy a house and have a family. How did that happen? Media coverage and impact on national identity. The media's portrayal of the declining male workforce participation shapes societal perceptions of masculinity and success, thus influencing national identity. The discussion in the media about this trend stirs up conversations on contemporary manhood and its intersection with work and employment. Consequently, these narratives can either heighten or alleviate societal pressures tied to gender roles, highlighting the urgent need to address men dropping out of the labor force. I'm not so certain on what they were trying to say there. Discussion on the decline in male workforce participation in the media. Impact on society's perception of masculinity and success. Economic factors contributing to the decline. Automation and job losses play a significant role in male workers' decline. Automation, so men are worried about automation. Stagnant wages, economic instability, inability to make ends meet. Social factors contributing to the decline. Our society is also playing a part in the male workforce exodus, with shifts towards a service-based economy and changing gender roles. Dive deeper to comprehend this decline better. Shift towards a service-based economy. This move has given rise to jobs requiring interpersonal skills often associated with women in the over-socialized world, in line with the Uncle Ted theory. They want a pretty set of eyes behind the desk because that's associated with the shift towards a service-based economy. Women are better service givers. Oh, there's a little underhanded comment from me. There you go. We can both be underhanded and discreet about what we're getting at. Changing societal expectations and gender roles. I feel like they've said that already. Impact on hiring and job market trends. Difficulty in filling job vacancies. Yeah, so they're having trouble finding people to fill the jobs because men are leaving. Increase in the hiring of women. Well, that's a given. Solutions and actions being taken. Yeah, what are they doing about it? Societal initiatives are in place to combat this dwindling trend, with efforts spanning from job training and education expansion to breaking social stigmas and fortifying economic ability. Well, the problem with efforts from job training and education is that men aren't going to the education facilities as much anymore. Job training and education programs. Job training, sometimes called upskilling, can provide men with valuable skills. Men are lacking the skills. Organizations frequently offer comprehensive training programs, upskilling, 4-year programs. But men aren't going is the problem. Men are just giving up, and this article just goes on and on and on, and for some reason I feel like they're just not addressing the glaring issue. Addressing social stigmas and discrimination. Yeah, society seems to think that men are inferior, and, that just isn't fixing the problem, is it? Increasing economic stability and job opportunities, the importance of addressing this issue. Yeah, we gotta figure it out. Boy, oh boy, it just goes on and on and on, and I just feel like it wasn't really that useful for anything. What are they missing, guys? What are they missing? Here, let's just go ahead and add a camera, so every now and then I can kind of... I'm probably gonna, oh great, that's another display capture. Hold on. I'm probably going to add some sort of a little reaction thing so I can at least claim fair use on all this, so I'm not just like screen sharing. Oh, we got mom spaghetti on our sweaters. I'm choking. All right, I'll just kind of bounce back and forth between the camera. Yeah, so what are they missing, guys? What they're missing is that the work environment has also become toxic. The more women in the workplace, the more it becomes a popularity contest. The more it's like, you know, who's getting laid, who's not, who's going home with Susie from HR and who's not. More accommodations for women in the workplace. You know, women getting out, or men getting out competed by women, but why are they getting out competed? Is it because of their inferiority to women? Is it because women are better workers? Or is it because of biased HR, feminist policies, basically like affirmative action for women? It just seems like their solution to the problem is to just kind of talk down to men, which only makes the problem worse. You know, the more that men stop showing up, the more they speculate about men's inferiority, which pushes men further away. That's my 2 cents. So here we got Jenner, why young men aren't working. Let's see this Chud's perspective.
There's been a massive trend of young guys not entering the labor force. They're not getting jobs. They're not getting internships. They're just kind of chilling. And a lot of old heads just cannot possibly comprehend why young guys would not want to start producing capital and saving for, a 4-bedroom house. It's the completely reasonable price of $8 million a day. And I think the main problem is just the incentive structure. Our grandparents, our dad's generation, they kind of had this unspoken agreement with society where if they worked hard, they got a job, they kind of put the grind in, they would probably be...
Yes, the incentive structure. It seemed like in the boomers' time, getting a job amounted to owning a home, starting a family, and progressing in life. And I believe we are now living in the era of, now you have a raffle ticket. Now you get this little rinky-dink raffle ticket, especially if you're stuck at the bottom of the ladder, which of course society shames you. And as we've seen in that Medium article, you know, they say that, oh, well, you're just jealous of people who have more education. And we see that men don't want to be getting educated anymore because the universities have become toxic. At least that's my chud speculation. But it seems that we're coming to an understanding of the incentive. It used to be very likely that if you did your part, even if it was minimum wage, you could get married, you could climb the ladder, you could do better than minimum wage, you could buy a house, you could have a family. Now you get a raffle ticket, and now it's like, well, you know, you're not entitled. All you're entitled to is meeting a prerequisite of that. Now you at least are maybe capable of getting a house and having a wife and a family. But what we're finding is it's not just NEETs. It's men who have now left the workforce, as they're finding it doesn't even matter when they put in the work. They saw that they received a losing raffle ticket for their hard work, and they decided, you know what? I'd rather just play video games and screw off and leech off of my boomer parents who were very successful.
Able to find a good wife that will stay with them, that will not rip them to shreds in the divorce courts and take their kids and have their assets. And they would also have a company that would kind of stick with them through the ups and downs. They would be able to have a secure job, and they didn't really have all the competition we have today with illegal immigrants, with mass legal immigration of all these people from India and China, these highly skilled, like the cream of the crop from other countries are now coming to America.
The cream of the crop, Chuds. I'm not going to say anything. This is Chad. Got the problem, Betas? You're getting out competed, guys. We're getting out competed. We simply cannot compete. Isn't that right, ladies? This is what Stacy isn't telling you. This is where Stacy's been spending her evenings, you guys. She didn't want to tell you. You're getting out competed.
and stealing a lot of the highly intensive IQ jobs, big law, tech, medicine. There's no sort of home court advantage for the American young guy anymore. If you're like an American white young guy, kind of like me, I have a lot of things going for me, but even in my position, there are still a lot of things that are kind of slanted against me, where our dad's generation, like granddad's generation, they kind of had privilege. Like white privilege was definitely a thing back then. Nowadays, you have to work even harder than minorities. You have to say that you're some sort of trans Native American descendant or something like that to get into a top, you know.
Boo-hoo! I don't get my white privilege anymore. Boo-hoo! Me, a Chad, this is not making me want to work. Is it? What do you think, Neats? You want to, like, Neats, do you want to work? No. Hold on. Let me see if you want to work after this. Oh, boo! My white privilege. Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard being a white male. Now do you want to work? You know what? I do. Now I want to go back to college. Now I want to go back to work. That changed everything. It's not our society anymore. You see, it used to basically be like, this was our country and this is our people. And I guess people don't understand this. Like, you know, there's a country, there's a people, there's a tribe. And it's like, this is where I live. And I live here with my people. And my people are at the universities. And my people run stuff. And, you know, my people want me to win. And I want my people to win. And it kind of seems like that's how it was for the boomers. And now we're kind of like seen as the enemy in our own country, and man, that's not really going so well, is it? All right, anyway.
University to get into these top jobs, and it just doesn't really make sense to grind so freaking hard as a young guy when you don't feel like you're going to be able to get a girlfriend or have a successful marriage or have a company that will stay loyal to you. You're always dispensable. We've seen these layoffs just like a light switch with these companies. It seems like the most efficient kind of path forward is just to not delay gratification and just enjoy life.
I just thought of this. There's two, like, you guys, you're getting shamed. Ooh, man, you're getting shamed so hard for not working. Man, that shame's hard to deal with. There's two ways you can make the shame go away, guys. You can do what all these people want you to do. Just man up, work for your raffle ticket, and take it like a man when you don't get the winning raffle ticket. Or you can go to your home, your humble abode, and play video games and just, you know, not go to the universities where everybody shames you, and not go to the workplace where everybody shames you, and not get married to a woman who will shame you and leave you. And it seems like that's what's happening. It seems like that's the decision that men are making. So I wonder why that is. I wonder why men have chosen peace and solitude over shaming. Maybe we'll never understand.
Right now, which usually includes for young guys smoking and drinking, playing video games, and just kind of enjoying life while you can, because we don't really feel like the future is very bright for us, and we don't feel like this kind of unspoken social contract that our dads and our grandparents had with the American economy. It's been completely shattered for us. I do not have good faith that a company will do what's right by me. And I've seen that a lot of companies kind of hate me. I'm a Christian conservative white guy, and that's like pretty much the freaking devil to any sort of major corporation in America, or so it seems. And dating dynamics are so...
it's so hard to be a white male Christian in the United States. You're not a victim. I'm gonna keep playing video games in my humble abode.
So freaking skewed. You've got so many single guys who have never dated, have never had sex, have never had any sort of success with a woman. And if you find yourself at like 24, 25, never had a girlfriend, it's like, I don't really see this realistically panning out for me. Why am I going to work? I can get a check from the government. I can live at my parents' house. I can kind of lay low and play video games 8 hours a day. I can smoke. I can hang out. That's
and by the
fun,
way,
like day to day.
By the way, everybody just keeps going to the video games. I can smoke and play video games. You can also do what I do, is like spiritually develop and read books and create a YouTube channel and come up with ideas and write books and work out and train martial arts and build something, create a group, create a Discord, create a freaking Telegram or Facebook group. I mean, honestly, guys, the possibilities are endless. I think people need to stop getting all hung up on this, oh, they just play video games all day. I mean, you can do anything. Well, what do you need anymore to be an entrepreneur? You need a computer and a work ethic. And I think the hard part is getting over the demoralization and becoming the Nikola Tesla in his home with time and a brain. That's what I think the next step is. You guys, I don't think men are ever returning to society. I think we're going to get replaced with AI, immigrants, and women. And they're probably going to start making it easier for people to live off of neat bucks. Maybe. I don't know. Something's got to happen, but it seems like a lot of men are figuring out how to get by without working. And I don't think the future is men returning to the workforce. I think the future is men, like, remembering how to be Nikola Tesla. But what you're probably going to find is that society doesn't want your inventions, bro. Between the patent and the peer review, they're basically gatekeepers. Like, they don't want innovation. The slave system's already here. See, that's a different discussion, but yeah, they don't want your inventions. They don't want infinite energy. They don't want abundance.
Hey, that is a pretty fun life. I know a lot of guys, like the self-improvement guys on YouTube, are always like, oh, you're going to get massively depressed and everything. Yeah, long term, it will be terrible for you. But day to day, that's not like a bad time. I'm probably going to get crucified for saying that, but I think we can all admit that, like, playing video games, chilling, smoking weed, drinking, that is
And
fun.
you don't have to do any of that. You know, like, not being a part of society doesn't necessitate any of that. And I think it's a untrue stereotype, and it's a harmful stereotype. It's like, yeah, I don't smoke weed. I don't really play that much video games. Like, it's not really how it is. And I think people need to start evolving past that. Like, there's a lot of things you can do other than rotting away at some shitty wage slave job. Or, like, learning about how everything's your fault at university.
And we know that that's going to be instantly fun. So a lot of guys will say, I'll take the bird in the hand versus two in the bush, because we've kind of realized that the two in the bush are not there anymore. They were there for our father's generation. Our father's generation had a general sense that I'm going to be able to have a successful marriage and kids. I'm going to work for a company that has my best interest in mind, that will stick with me through the ups and downs of the economy, that will let me climb the corporate ladder as I put more hours in. That's not true for us. We work for companies that hate us. We don't have any hope for a marriage because we can't find a freaking girlfriend. We don't have the social agreement that they were afforded. So our incentive to work is pretty much working to come home to an empty house and pay taxes to a government that will distribute it to people that hate us, that don't look like us, that don't believe what we believe. Why would we do this? We're pretty much like getting cucked on a lot of levels if you're just grinding away for such little payoff, for such
Slaving away for a country that hates you, man. You know, this is a great video, but we're not even halfway done. I think we get the point. Check this guy out, Jenner, Why Young Men Aren't Working. Great video. This guy's just hitting the nail on the head. Why would we slave away for nothing so we can pay for our own replacement in death from a system that hates us? I mean, it's just beautiful when you put it that way. Comments. Most jobs aren't lucrative anymore. With most jobs not being able to cover the costs of living, there's just no incentive to work unless you make six figures or have a family to support. Real. Oh no, the big money guys surprised that if you took away the carrot, the mule stopped pulling after a time. No matter how hard you whip it. Yeah, I heard this said before too. At a certain point, a horse just lays down and dies. And it doesn't matter how hard you whip it. It's just not going to move anymore. It's going to collapse out of exhaustion, and you're like, "What's the matter? I'm whipping you." And that's the shame. I'm whipping you, horse. Move. You're supposed to move faster when I whip you. It's like, no, I'm going to lay here and die because it hurts more to move than it hurts to get whipped by your whip. There is no incentive to do anything other than live our lives for ourselves. The money, the women, and the respect is all gone. There isn't even job security among higher paid careers. At this point, the young men are going minimalistic, focusing on health and contentment. Well, guys, this is a very comfy hug box here, very cozy comment section, very cozy video, but it's time to move on. We gotta start thinking about wrapping this up. How deep are we now? Yeah, we're about 40 minutes deep. Let's kind of like get at the end. Okay, so we got a couple of shorts now. So now we're moving on to relationships. So this is Billy Ray Brandt, a short. Get off the dating apps now.
What's up, my guys? Hot guy pro tip of the day. Get off the dating apps now. Do you ever wonder why you have a few exchanges with a girl on these apps and then all of a sudden they ghost out of the blue? It's because another guy beat you to the number. Girls don't want to waste their time having superficial, how's your day going conversations through Hinge. They're looking for a man to make the first move and move that shit along. Be direct, get her number, and secure a time to meet. Don't give her other 30 matches of the day a chance to beat you to it. What's up, my guys? Hot guy pro tip of the day.
Hot guy pro tip of the day. Well, that doesn't even apply to most of us, so okay, we'll just move on. She's not even giving us advice. She's giving Chads a tip. Like, listen, Chad, other Chads got to her before you, and they're not looking to have a discussion. They're just looking to have promiscuous sex. So if you really want to have promiscuous sex, then, you know, get off the dating apps. And she didn't really say what to do instead of that, but I guess that was advice for somebody. Like, it wasn't directed towards me, because I'm not a hot guy. And she just said get off of the dating apps, but didn't really say what to do instead. But, you know, she's got like 5.7K likes and a shit ton of subs and comments, so she must be doing something right. Men are done with dating?
All women are 304s. Nope. There is no such thing as traditional women anymore. Wrong. Women simply aren't worth it. What does that even mean? I am so tired of all of this negativity. Are you going to insist that masculinity is about growth, suffering, and overcoming difficult things, and then just not date because it's hard? Are some of you really so pessimistic and self-hating that you will just resign yourself to never feeling love and affection? Are you really going to sit here and insist that you have all of the answers to dating, and then just refuse to pass those answers on to a woman who is ready and willing to please you? Tell me, what battle are you even fighting? You insist there's a problem, but you aren't trying to actually solve it? What is the point of all of this other than to just kick and scream? There are a lot of great...
The problem is women, sweetie panty. Hold on. The problem is women, sweetie panty pants. And solving the problem? Well, I don't know, like... When you say that women are a problem and it's time to solve it, you know, that's not a good way to, like, get very far in modern society. So, back to that at another time.
Women out there looking for men with your values. Go meet them, be strong in your convictions, and enjoy the life that you can create with them. Because the negativity has got to stop. All women are 304s. Nope. They're...
But you just said, you know, hot guy tip of the day, get off of dating apps. Because women don't want to talk on dating apps. Okay. Let's just move on. Comments? You know, Billy Ray, it has been a little bit since you have put out one of these videos that I can actually get on board with. This one's good. Gentlemen, I put it to you. There are women that have demonized all men for the behavior of a subset of them. What are we doing, if not the same thing, by checking out of dating entirely? We need to be discerning. We need to determine where relationships will go and not go. We men, collectively, have allowed this to go on as long as it has. Checking out isn't the answer. Standing up to women and refusing to tolerate bad... What are the implications of this? But you're not gonna do anything to solve the problem? Women are the problem. And then this guy says, we men collectively, collectivism, okay. So like Hitler, Stalin, okay, collectivism. Men collectively, collectivism, Hitler, Stalin, fascism, totalitarianism, okay, go on. Have allowed this to go on as long as it has. Checking out isn't the answer. Standing up to women and refusing to put up with bad behavior is. I mean, what exactly are we suggesting here? What are we suggesting here? Gentlemen, we have identified the problem. Yes, sweetie. It is time for men to stop walking away from the problem and to finally institute a solution. Gentlemen, we have a collective has identified the problem. It is women. It is time for us to collectively, as this simp in this woman's chat has suggested, has put forth. He has put forth the blueprint. We men, as a collective, like the fascism, communism, collectivism, strong leaders. We need to stop allowing women to do this to us. Yes. I'm glad we can come to the same. I'm glad we can come to the same conclusion. Moving on. I think that's what she meant. 20 minutes of modern women begging for a good man to save them. This is probably what hell sounds like. Let's just listen to it for a second.
Question, where are we meeting the men that actually want to date and be in a relationship? Because it's not the dating apps. It's not.
That's where you meet Chad. You ignored all the guys who want a relationship.
It's not the coffee shops. I've been trying that. I've been trying that for a while now.
We don't go anymore because we get dirty looks. We don't go anymore.
Bars. Not at my age, because they're all like...
Bars are a place where you get mogged by Chad. Stopped going.
21, 22, so they definitely don't want to be in a relationship, and I definitely do not want to be a cougar. Nothing wrong with that, just not my type. I, again, tend to go about 8 to 10 years older than me. I found out even those don't want to date for a relationship. Even they are still figuring things out. Yeah, they are.
Because they got rejected their entire life.
Are we meeting the ones that want to date and be in a relationship, that want to date to eventually get into a relationship, that are dating to see if we're compatible for a relationship, not other things? No. I need to know because I have yet to find them. And I've been looking, so maybe I should stop looking. I don't know. But if you know, please let me know.
It's just samples.
Today I was
a little sampler of the sweeties of the world.
To get lunch with my friends, and I was walking, and this 65-year-old man stopped me and goes, "Hey, do you happen to be single?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Oh, you're beautiful." He was literally 65 years old. So that's what
the best you can get, sweetie. He's willing to commit. What's the problem?
I get. People go on dates, and the people that get asked on the dates, and they want to go on the dates, and they do. That's crazy, you guys. That's crazy.
Well, here's a reality check. Maybe people do ask her out, but they're just not the Prince Charming she's fantasizing about.
Let's go! Man, this chud is just putting you in your absolute place. Get wrecked. It sounds like she's had so much done for her entire life. She can't even articulate a thought. What was she just saying? People that go on the dates and ask on the dates, oh my gosh, you've never had to have a coherent thought in your entire life, have you? She's pretty hot. I think this chick is pretty hot, dude. But yeah, let's not get carried away here. She had potential. I'm not sure about the little lip job she's had, but I find this woman physically attractive, and I'm just saying I don't think she's ever had to actually have a coherent thought in her entire life.
Not everyone's walking around looking like they stepped out of a Marvel movie with a six-pack and a Lamborghini key in their pocket. But let's get real here. The issue isn't about who's asking whom out. It's about these unrealistic standards that a lot of modern women seem to have. They're waiting for Mr. Perfect, who's over 6 feet tall, built like a Greek god, and has a bank account to match. And when reality...
Okay, I kind of want to hear the women complain. I'm sorry, Chuddy Jr. I want to hear the women complain.
Success. And let's not forget this whole eating market. I'll mention my...
Bro, I want to listen to her complain, not you. I'm sorry, dude. That's it? You're really just going to mute her rant and then talk over it?
But she's quick to dismiss anyone who doesn't fit her fantasy. But
bro, you only let her talk for 10 seconds.
Of her own medicine, served with a... exchange is a perfect example of how some modern women set these unrealistic
Okay, well, I guess we're not really going to get to hear her perspective. Huh, interesting. Moving on. Oh my gosh, is that Grace Asher? No.
3%, a little over a third, of men between the ages of
That's never mind.
18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner. The same study said that by the year 2030, that 45% of women between the ages of 20 and 45 will be single. So I've got a question for the men, because I see it all the time in my comments. Most of my comments are filled with guys saying we're done. We're not looking. We like our peace. I need some more talk from you guys. Tell me why you're done. Tell me why you don't want to have a partner.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'm done because no woman has ever loved me in my entire life. I'm done because I was punished anytime that I tried with a woman. The couple of times that I managed to get women in bed, I was made to feel bad for it, like I did something wrong. And the times before I ever was able to get women into bed, I was friend zoned because I was unable to, it's like when I tried to like build some sort of a connection, you get friend zoned and they go for guys that just sleep with them. And then when I was able to figure out how to just sleep with them, I was shamed and told that it seemed like all I wanted was sex, but they're telling me that because I'm trying to figure out how to have a relationship and it never happens. So I'm done because all that's out there for me is rejection, pain, me being made felt like I'm not worth anything, and I just want to have peace and enjoy what little is left of my life. You know, let's say I live to be 100, which is unlikely. 30% of my life has already come and gone. So, I mean, I'm not really done. I don't know what I'm saying, dude. Let's just watch the video.
In life. Tell me why it's more worth it to be single than to have a partner. Even if you weren't to remarry, just to have a partner. I mean, I've talked to a lot of men. I've got my answers, but I want to hear it in the comments.
Like, by the time you start showing that you're hurt, we've already been hurt for 20 years. By the time women are in their 30s and, you know, you've screwed like 15 guys and now all of a sudden you have some complaints and now you're like summoning the chuds of the world. It's like, sweetie, I was traumatized 15 years ago and left to rot and die alone, and I managed to like survive being tarred and feathered by everyone I knew. Like, everybody expected me to like run off and die somewhere injured and alone, and like I managed to find inner peace and happiness in spite of the fact that everybody hates me. And now all of a sudden, like, you're feeling bad feelings for the first time in your life. It's like, I've already ascended because I already felt torturous suffering 10 years ago, and everybody told me it was my fault.
Drop it in the comments.
This recent research is a real eye-opener.
Okay, nobody cares about this guy. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. Nobody cares about me either.
Have you ever seen a man on a dating app say he's looking for someone with a good sense of humor?
A woman just explained to me that nobody cares what you say on dating apps. A woman just explained to us that women don't, like, want to have discussions on dating apps. Of course, she was explaining that to hot men only, so I guess it didn't really apply.
Because in this very well-known study, they found that when women said they wanted someone with a good sense of humor, they meant someone who will make them laugh. But when men said they wanted a woman with a good sense of humor, they meant a woman who will laugh at their jokes. In every other context other than friendship, men preferred women who would laugh at their jokes over women who would make jokes themselves. And that's like the least surprising thing ever, but it's kind of funny to have empirical scientific data to back it up. What is it though? Is it that men are like...
Empirical scientific data backed it up, chuds. You don't want to laugh at her jokes. It's objective. They proved it. You don't want women to make funny. What are you even talking about? Why'd you get one of those door knocker nose rings? Oh, I hate those things.
Threatened by funny women?
She actually thinks she said something intelligent.
Okay, nobody cares, dude.
Do I do? I was talking to my boyfriend the other day, and he was telling me that he had such a hard time finding a girlfriend before he met me, and this is why. Tell me if you agree. So he would walk up to a lot of different females. That's basically what he did to me. That's how he found me, okay? And when he walked up to these females, he would say, "Hi, just like that and want to start a conversation. He said so many people would just look him in the eyes and either just walk away, like straight up, look at him and just leave, or they would give him like the biggest resting bitch face and then be such a bitch to him that it's like, why would you even want to have a conversation?
Yeah, that's my entire life. That's like, let me try to do some math here. That's probably 95% of the interactions that I have had with females in my entire life, which she just described, me just, hi. And then they walk away, or that's the majority of experiences that I've had with women in my life. Overwhelmingly. Honestly. 100%. 100% women. Are you going to lecture me about it?
It's like you're talking to a wall or someone that like wants to stab you in the face.
Yeah.
It was really, really uncomfortable. In fact, we actually did this little exercise. It was funny. Like, he was sitting down on the beach, and then I was going for a walk. And when I got back from my walk, I walked up to him pretending like I didn't know him. And I'm just like, hi, nice to meet you. What book are you reading? And he looked at me like he wanted to kill me. And he was like, it's a book about houses or something like that. I don't know what he said. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like really trying to have a conversation, but it's like, how the fuck do you have a conversation with someone when they don't want to talk to you and they're like, what, like, why are you in my space? And they look at you like you're almost an alien. Okay. So females, if you're listening to this video, that is from a male perspective. Okay. So if you're a male and you're watching this video, I totally get it. Okay. Like, there are many people out there that probably look at you like you're absolutely crazy. Okay?
Women are figuring it out, chuds. Women are starting to care. But you've been a traumatized chud for 10 years. You've been like watching, you've been down so bad, you're like starting to watch like Barney for some reason. Like, oh, I love you. You love me. And you're like, you're with your cats and you got your old dirty, disgusting blankie from when you're 4 and you're like trying to find some, Barney. And then this woman who's like, hitting the wall is like, okay, you're traumatized and like they finally care. It's like, what? Women care? It's, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying, dude. This video is all over the place. I guess it's too late, girls. Like, so many men have lived just lives of despair, shame, and isolation. And we're talking like 10 years now. And I've seen women who are like, heal. Like, go to therapy. No. That's where the state decides whether or not you're allowed to be free. There's no reason for men to go to therapy.
Females, if you're watching this video, just be aware that if someone comes up to talk to you, it takes a lot of courage to do that. Just like walking up to someone in general is very intimidating and scary, okay? And you're probably beautiful, okay? So that's why they're walking up to you. So if anything, just be a little bit more nice when they do walk up to you, have a conversation. I mean, they are human beings. So if anything, you can just have like a fun, nice conversation. I get it. If like you don't want to be bothered, just say like, oh yeah, this is the book I'm reading. It's called How Emotions Are Made. Yeah, but if you don't mind, I was just really busy reading. I'm going to keep doing my thing if that's okay. Something like that is so simple. It's very polite. And honestly, I think that's kind of like what I always say when I lived in Chicago. I sat in the Riverwalk and so many people would just walk up to me randomly. But I think it's very good to always be open to people, always be open to opportunity. And if you don't like someone, that's fine too. You can just straight up say like, thank you for having, or like starting a conversation. Like, I'm doing my own thing and that's that. Okay. But I did think it was very interesting from a male perspective that it is very challenging to find people in this world that will just be very open and have a conversation. That's why he told me, he's like, when I came up to you, you were like the friendliest person that I've talked to in a very long time. And we ended up talking for like the entire sunset, and it was like pitch black outside and we were still talking, and it was just amazing. Like, we had a ton in common, and it was just like the vibe was instantly there. So like maybe it was a coincidence, I don't know, but you know, just try to be more open to opportunity from both sides of the story, okay? Males and females.
Bro, I don't know how many men at this point, but like at least half of these men who have left society, we're talking like 10 years of isolation. And like they used to like, It's like the fly. It's like the fly. Like, I'm just a fly who dreamed he was a man. Like, I'm just a chud who dreamed about having a social life, dude. Like, once upon a time, I had friends, and I used to talk to women and go out on dates. I'm just a chud who dreamed he was a man. Like, we're talking, like, 10 years of no human interaction. A lot of men are there, and it's like, it's nice that women are almost starting to care and try to figure it out, but we know that it's because, like, the dick carousel is stopping, and now it's your problem finally. And man, this is just the same rant that men have over and over again, but we have it because it's therapeutic, because we've basically been robbed of like a future.
I'll just say, keep going out there, keep finding your people, keep doing your thing. And females, keep smiling, keep putting away that resting bitch face, and just be open to opportunities. And honestly, like,
hey, you should smile more. Dude, women hate that. Keep smiling. She just told all women in the world to keep smiling. Women hate that. I don't have to smile. I don't have to smile if I don't want to. You're not the boss of me. Women are unironically starting to tell women to smile. Oh my gosh, dude. You have any idea how many men lost their jobs and got socially crucified for telling a woman to smile?
like, we can switch sides too. Like, females can walk up to males, right? And males, don't be so like, like,
okay. Thank you for trying. Oh, it's her again. She's fun.
To find a decent woman before meeting her, and honestly, her tale just echoes.
Yeah, can we just not?
Find genuine connections. First off, let's address the elephant in the room, the audacity of most modern women when approached. This attitude, this dismissive and often downright rude behavior is exactly why so many men are saying,
yeah, we know.
A normal human
Can we just listen to her talk, please?
It's laughable. It's an overinflated...
Okay. Why are you showing a butt, dude? Get that butt off my screen right now. It's day 5 of NoFap. Get out of here! I'm not reading the comments because of that. Sorry. It's just a bunch of chuds complaining. Let's be real. Okay. We're a little over an hour deep now. Let's try to wrap this up. Modern women are freaking out as 63% of men have willingly left the dating scene.
I have been so hesitant to post about this for 2 reasons. Number 1, I don't like negativity, and I don't want to be like the bearer of bad news. Number 2, I didn't want to believe it. But after doing so much research and getting a lot of messages, I'm going to just deliver the unvarnished truth to you guys. I'm just going to lay it out straight. We're in a dating crisis. Not basically, we are. That's what's happening. So let me look at my research here, because I don't want to mess it up. So men looking for casual dates and our relationships is down 50%, 50, since 2019. Not since 1970, since 2019, right before the pandemic, down 50%. They're not fucking looking, which means if you're a woman looking, they don't fucking give a shit. So as this trend continues, by 2040, 45% of women, 45% of women between the ages of 20 and 45 will be single and childless based on this trend. Let that sink in for a moment.
Bro, this is actually kind of nuts. And again, it goes back to like, most of us are too jaded to care. It's like, hey guys, women are starting to like admit MGTOW statistics, and you're like covered in shit, like watching Barney with your disgusting childhood oh, I love you. It's like, hey, are you still there, buddy? Women are admitting MGTOW statistics. It's happening. Women are reading shit that only chuds cared about like 2 years ago. What? Women? Like, you're fucking just barely even there anymore, dude. From all the loneliness and isolation and trauma. Look, women are all en masse starting to admit that everything that we've been saying. Hello? I just want to watch Barney with my blankie. Like, it's over. It's too late. The damage is done, girls. It's too late. And let's be real, this girl isn't really that attractive. Sorry.
I'm going to talk a lot more about this. So
Not
if
for
you're
me.
interested in this topic,
Not in my
hit the follow
opinion.
button because I've
Just my
got a
opinion.
lot more of information, a lot more to share with you guys.
Oh.
It's happening, gentlemen. MGTOW is taking over.
Oh, it's this guy again. Okay. I think we can save some time. Let's just do this. Okay. Wrapping it up. Pew Research Center, September 14th, 2023. So this is the oldest source that I have. November, December, January. So this is about 3-4 months old. Across U.S. religious groups, more see decline of marriage as negative than positive. Large numbers of Americans in many different religious groups express concern about fewer people getting married. By comparison, there is much less concern about people having fewer children. In fact, Catholics and members of the historically black Protestant tradition are as likely to say that people having fewer children is positive for society as to say it is negative. These findings are drawn from a new Pew Research Center survey that also examines Americans' perceptions about what makes for a fulfilling life. For people in all of America's large religious groups, having an enjoyable job and good friends ranks above being married and having children. In recent decades, U.S. adults have been delaying marriage or increasingly foregoing it altogether, according to Center Analysis of U.S. Census Bureau data. Evangelical Protestants express that most concern about the decline of marriage in the United States. 55% say that fewer people ever getting married will have a negative impact on the future of the U.S., while just 4% say it will have a positive impact. But evangelicals are far from alone in taking a negative view of a decline in marriage. 42% of mainline Protestants say fewer people getting married will have a negative impact. 37% of Catholics say it's negative. 34% of black Protestants, 20% of religiously unaffiliated adults say a decline of marriage will be negative. So that means 80% of atheistic adults don't give a shit. Like, they think it's fine. So that is kind of eye-opening. Yeah, I mean, it's actually kind of shocking that only 30% of Catholics... Now, you know, keep in mind there's a sample size and all that, but that's actually terrifying, bro. You know, somebody who's been a Catholic for a while now, I mean, real Catholicism is traditionalism. That's what so many people don't seem to understand. We're living in a world where people are under the impression that Protestants are more conservative than Catholics. And, I mean, according to the survey, that's the way that it is. But that's not how it's supposed to be. So it's just, it really says more just about the state of the modern world than anything. But yeah, like, traditional Catholicism, like basically just reading and agreeing with the catechism of the Catholic Church, which is actually what it means to be a Catholic. 100% of Catholics should have an issue with a decline in marriage, because that's part of what it means to be a Catholic. Any sex outside of marriage is fornication. So yeah, only 30% of Catholics. Yeah. I'm kind of losing my momentum here, guys. This has turned out to be a very long video. I kind of wanted to get in the habit of making shorter videos. And, you know, to kick that off, we made the longest video I've made in a long time. This is kind of like a throwback to the podcast. What happened to marriage? Ho-math. Okay, ho-math. Let's just get straight down to business. They're not playing around here.
Do you guys still want to get married?
I think what you're asking is, do you want to be married? And I think that a lot of men would say, yes, I do want a partner to spend my life with. But when you say, do you want to get married, I'm not sure if you're keeping in mind all these extra steps that come before and the possible ones after. Here's a guy living in a cardboard box with his ex-wife in his house with other men. You have to keep in mind that happens with roughly
Oh my gosh, low effort drawings are so funny, dude.
1/3 of new marriages, and that's only for the men who have the opportunity to get married, which is contingent upon a bunch of steps that have changed quite a bit over the years. So in order to get married, you have to date. And in order to date, you have to work and make money. And in order to work and make money, you have to go to school. And
this is a brilliant chud chart. See, this chud did his homework, bro. Like, when that MGTOW guy started chiming in, it's like, oh, like, great, we're going to hear the same thing we've heard a million times. Which, by the way, you know, a lot of my commentary in this video is probably treading some of that territory. But this guy's chud chart here, he did his homework, bro. Let's see if... so we got school, Ritalin, zero tolerance, grants and scholarships. So, yeah, women are favored at school. Women are favored in the workplace. You can see cancel culture. And then it talks about dating. And this is a great little chart.
Have been facing a lot of new difficulties in all of these areas over.
Yeah, so dating, men expected to pay, women, apps, OnlyFans. Yeah.
For the last few decades. So, do I want to have a partner? Yes. But do I want to go through all of this again? Not right now. So you want to get married, you have to date, you want to date, you have to work, you want to work, you have to go to school. This is where a lot of male problems begin. I'm not saying that
school is where a lot of male problems begin. You guys, I wanted to make a video about how public school is just basically like slavery camp for future slopper cogs. That's one of my new... I called somebody a slopper cog yesterday. Public school is just like a slopper cog slave camp for men. And it's like a humiliation ritual for average men. That thread that I was in yesterday about where have all the geniuses gone. So much inspiring conversation that could lead to so many topics. But yes, it's so sad. There's guys who had potential to be geniuses. I was put in special ed with kids who couldn't read when I had a high school reading level in second grade. And I had outstanding test scores and like the CATS test and whatnot. I believe I was put in those classes because I was outspoken and funny and full of energy and life. And I kind of like tried to stand up for myself against some authoritarian female woman teacher a couple of times. So the female woman put me in a special ed class taught by female women. And yeah, I mean, I feel like I was definitely stifled in elementary school. And, you know, now it's like, oh, it's a conspiracy theory and you're gaslit and people don't believe you. And once the damage is done, it's done. You can't do anything about it. It will be traumatic to realize it. It's like, oh, wow, maybe I could have been like some super successful elite person, but instead I'm a chud with no life. It's devastating to look back and think that you were stifled in cog slopper slave camp elementary school ran by female women. Okay, moving on.
Girls have it easy, but the last few decades, schoolboys have been treated like they are defective. In third grade, I used to finish my work before the other kids, and I would get up and move around, and they told me that was not
now he's talking about his story and nobody cares, but we'll try to care because we listen to my story.
Okay, so they medicated me. When I got a little older, the other boys would start fights, and I went to the authorities to do the right thing, and they punished both of us. So then I took matters into my own hands, and they punished just me because of these policies. They don't let boys just fight it out anymore.
See, he's telling his chud story, but the damage has already been done. But hey, you know what? He's got 327K subs, so he's doing all right.
Policies are not setting young boys up for success.
Speak your chud truth, buddy. Speak your chud truth. That's right. You told the teachers and you got in trouble and they put you on Ritalin. I believe you, dude. I believe this chud. And I ask that if he hears my chud story, which you probably won't, you believe me. Chud to chud. Chud's got to believe chuds.
They punish the way that we natively look at the world. It definitely messed me up a little, and that was 30 years ago, and I have no idea what's going on now. When we get older and go to college, there are all kinds of things in place to help girls that are not available for boys, and they say that it's there to correct.
Yeah. Women get scholarships, and dating sucks, and dating apps, and OnlyFans, and you guys, we've heard it all a million times. We've been here for an hour and 13 minutes. This is meant to be just the grand everything. I had podcasts that were specialized in men leaving the workforce, men leaving dating, men leaving school. This is just where we're at now, 2024, all fairly new sources. You know, I kind of just randomly picked sources. Maybe they're not the best, but I think we all know what's going on, guys. Men are leaving education. Why? Because it's slopper cog indoctrination camp. Chances are your life was ruined in elementary school, and if you realize that and you have a good memory, it'll probably devastate you and make you even more traumatized and make you want to watch even more Barney with your disgusting childhood blanket, okay? It's over-socialization. I wanted to make a video on that, how Ted Kaczynski's predictions about over-socialization are just absolutely spot on to the point where they're prophetic. Everything's a popularity contest. Universities are no longer seeking Nikola Tesla because he's an autist who never got laid. They're no longer seeking Isaac Newton because he's an unpopular autist. It's all about being a popularity contest winning slopper cog. They don't want the 150 IQ autist inventor. They want the 110 IQ soy boy slopper cog, okay? That's it. Men are leaving the shaming ritual schools. They're leaving the workforce where you're making pennies to get shamed and get mocked. More shaming rituals. You can't, you get a raffle ticket, and then a lot of you guys worked for years and years and years, and you're like, you know what? This raffle ticket's probably not going to win, so fuck it. And then, leaving dating because women don't even want you anyway. And let's be real, all these women who are like complaining, they're complaining about Chad. At least one woman was honest about it. But she looks like the personal trainer chick from The Biggest Loser, crossed with Paula Abdul from the first season of American Idol. So who really cares what she says anyway? Paula Abdul is way hotter. Anyway, it's not looking good, but I'm not in a place where I want to complain. This is not supposed to be so much about me, guys. This is just, I'm trying to be objective here. And we're starting to see women accept chud talking points. That is what I think is the main thing that's going on. For the first time in chud history, we are seeing women, usually like women who are, hitting the wall, not riding the carousel anymore, kind of the roller coaster of wee in their 20s and their prime, starting to get off. And it's like some Nicolas Cage movie where they're starting to look at all these chud statistics and they're like, oh my gosh, like dating is over. And women are starting to care. And that's huge. Because guys like me, who were becoming MGTOW in like 2017, 2018. I mean, I discovered my first MGTOW video in 2014, I think. Or the end of 2013. So I was becoming aware of these kind of things a long time ago, guys. But if you were an early adopter, you got gaslit, shamed, and called a loser. And basically, you're told that you are a huge neckbeard incel idiot if you actually believe these things about society. The news is accepting these statistics. The Hill has come out and said 63% of men 19 to 29 are not dating. Women are accepting the statistics. People are accepting the statistics. And women are starting to react to the implications of these statistics. My input is that men have already been watching Care Bears and their piss-soaked couch cushion fort as a 40-year-old man, devastated by trauma and isolation. Care Bear, I love the Care Bears. I want to be a Care Bear. Girls, the men that you were supposed to marry are in a piss-soaked couch cushion fort in their living room crying. Okay? We already knew these statistics 10 years ago. And you told us that we were trash. And now you're like, oh my gosh, it's over. Join the club. We've been there. And yeah, it sucks. I will be praying for everyone. God bless. I basically just wanted this to be entertaining. Stay positive. God bless.